Alright. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Project Hexagon channel. My name is Gami Kurila. I am your host of 6WC, and joining me is a very special guest. You might know her from her streams, but introducing our front-end admin, Renyo. How you doing?
Hello. In the desaturated corner is me, Renyo. I'm doing really well for as early as it is. You're gonna see my sun slowly come up in the background because it's currently 7 a.m. So forgive me if my camera gets more and more flushed out, but I am excited for the match this morning. I believe it is Ling versus ObsoluteDark, right?
Yep, that is right, Renyo. This is probably one of the most hyped matches that we will be seeing this week. I believe this is ObsoluteDark being the tier 3 and Ling being the LCQ tier 4, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, it's the other way around. I need to change my announcement, but anyways, this is one of the most exciting matches because, as you know, ObsoluteDark was the first place LCQ qualifier, and Ling was like the second pick, and he just straight up instantly picked ObsoluteDark. So this is a ego pick. This is a pick for pride that Ling threw out today, and I think this is gonna be a very exciting pick going into this match at hand. Two opposite sides of the board, I think. Ling, you have Ling being very strong at their highest R ability, and meanwhile, you have ObsoluteDark, who's very known for their PP farming high, and I believe they just recently got a 400 PP as well, like a few weeks back. So that's it. These are some crazy 6 digits that we have on our hands today, and what a way to kickstart the Apex Theater.
Yeah, absolutely. These are really the pinnacle of the players who have participated in this pre-tourney event series, and it's been about a month and a half now since we first released registrations, and it's been really interesting to see the improvement in the process of these players going from, you know, team base to this more individual, minus like the was it the Monten Backstab Bootcamp series?
Yeah.
Where it was more team-oriented. Almost everything else is kind of these own players' individual merits. So it's time to see how well they stack up in the pressure cooker whenever the pressure slowly ramps up over the course of this bracket.
Yep, very, very well said, Renyo. And just to reiterate, ladies and gentlemen, for the first week of the Apex Theater, we will be using Lunexia's pool. If you guys don't know, Lunexia was the second place runner-up from the pooling contest, which means that we will be using their submission in this week's pool. This pool features a whole lot of gimmicks, in fact. There's a lot of funky going on. This pool is not slot pooled, so you don't have your typical, you know, mod pools or whatnot. Instead, we have skill set pools. I don't have all. In fact, you can see them right here on your screen right now. And basically, they cover a whole wide range of skill sets. You have aim, tapping, tech, gimmick, and accuracy. And of course, the main highlight, I think, of this pool is accuracy, because it uses a unique win criteria, which is, of course, you could guess accuracy. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how these players fare on it, especially given how, you know, there's some wacky mods that some of these slots give us. For example, I believe gimmick 3 is HDDT. Wait, no, it's like HD easy. Yeah, there we go. HDDT easy. Took the words right out of my mouth. And yeah, there's gonna be a whole lot of weird stuff that our players will definitely have to deal with. I think going into this matchup, gonna do a quick assessment of their skill sets. I would say ObsoluteDark is definitely the all-rounder favorite in this matchup, right? Because ObsoluteDark, the carry, I believe, of Team Russia in 6WC has played a whole host of maps, and is capable of securing good scores on a bunch of different maps. So playing against a player like ObsoluteDark, who's so proficient at so many skills as an all-rounder, definitely going to be a challenge. And meanwhile, on the left side, we have Tian, Ling, a very, very strong ISR player, very solid in their mechanics. You're thinking, you know, you're thinking low ACK, high combo, maybe even FCs. And so if there's anybody, so this is a very, very interesting matchup, right? Because you're already seeing a more polarizing player versus, you know, a sort of brick wall that ObsoluteDark is. But I mean, Renyo, we're slowly getting into
the... have like, I think they had like, what, 12% more Z-sum than the next highest scoring player in the matchup. That's like really insane, because LCQ isn't just, I think it wasn't just summa-based scores, it was Z-sum, meaning that you had to perform well consistently across the board. And I think that this pool in particular really favors players who are good at the awkward, the strange, the gimmicky, and easy DTHD, which you don't see too frequently in these tournaments. I do think that
how much you bet they'll bet?
I think the aim slot pooling is kind of inconsistent, especially since we do see a bit of an overrepresentation of that awkward aim, the alty aim, the weird like snappy angles. But everything else, I think especially the tapping pool, is pretty tame. So nothing that these players haven't at least come across, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. As we are, you know, slowly easing into the lobby, hopefully we should be able to start seeing what some of the game plans of some of our players will be today. It looks like we are going for... Wait, we have our protects, I believe. And, you know, these players clearly have no idea what the gimmick of the tournament is. You'd love to see that no mod 1 ban. Alright, alright. They definitely did practice the pool beforehand.
They looked at this pool.
Yo!
ObsoluteDark, I believe, is playing at a KFC. So we know that there's real stakes here.
Oh god, Kentucky full combo. Oh my days. Yeah, these players will definitely take some time to slowly ease into the format, of course. I don't think ObsoluteDark has seen this pool before, which is a bit concerning. You know, but things are how it is. I did
write in my notes specifically, no mod 4 you really do not, or it's not no mod 4, it's hard aim 3. You don't want
There we
to
go.
sight read just because of like the slider velocities plus having to play that CS 6.5. The big sliders that snake across the screen are so hard to follow because they have follow points. Why wouldn't they?
Yep. Just absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of funky stuff in this pool, right, Radio? And practice definitely would come in handy so that you don't get caught off guard by the weird kinks that this pool has to offer to you. But it looks like we will be seeing a tap 1 protect to kickstart this match. Meanwhile, now we're just gonna wait on Tian Ling for their protect, and I believe it is going to be Tech 3.
Yeah, I think the balancing in this pool is also interesting because there's some really short maps, and then out of nowhere, I think like the aim 2 is almost 4 minutes, the aim 3 is almost 4 minutes as well. So all of the like randomly long maps, I think players may want to avoid, but then again, we do see the top 1 being protected right there by Tian Ling, or by Obsolute, which is, again, the PP farm map. We love to see that in my 6-digit tournament. About 300 PP for a 98% FC, by the way.
Oh my goodness! Well, we're gonna do some in-lobby farming. That's all I can say.
Yeah, their
but
ETX scores go up.
please, bro, please. This is their last chance. This is our last chance to boost their ETX. Like, we're just throwing their ETX all the way up. But anyways, yeah, it looks like we're gonna see a Tech 3 protect coming in from Tian Ling. Definitely an expected protect if I had to make an assumption, you know. Satori de Pawn is one of the most classic speed maps, very well known amongst a lot of the Osu community and whatnot. And it makes a lot of sense why they would go for it, right? Tian Ling, as I mentioned, was a mechanics and a hard rock player, and that map sort of, you know, targets both of those avenues that they will be able to, you know, abuse. Go for it.
I think it's a Tech 3 protect, not a Tap 3 protect.
Oh, it is Tech 3? Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah, Chico's VIP protect, not...
oh, yeah.
A little different, but they do look pretty similar. We're going to see the first ban come out as well. That's going to be an Act 2 ban. So that's one of the hard rock picks already gone from this pool. There's not too many modded slots, only 3 hiddens, 3 hard rocks. I guess there's also the hidden DT, but you have the small added caveat of the easy on top of that. No one would notice anyways.
Yeah, I definitely think that if I had to guess what the ban would be from Tian Ling, it would be the easy DT. I don't think that is really that's sort of one of those maps where it's like an instant ban, you know. It's either you can or you can't play it, and there's a good chance that Tian Ling, being the typing maniac that he is, or the mechanics maniac that he is, won't have the sort of skill sets, the sort of vision in order to navigate through gimmick 3, but we're in fact going to see a Tap 4 ban. Oh, right. That is interesting. So, just to recap real quick, I believe we saw a Tap 1 protect from ObsoluteDark. And meanwhile, we saw a Tech 3 protect from Tian Ling. And moving on, we see ObsoluteDark going for the Act 2 ban. Meanwhile, Tian Ling going for the Tap 4 ban. So, it's good to see that Tian Ling really wants to play away from that tapping. Especially given how ObsoluteDark did go for that protect on Tap 1. So we're already starting to see some of these early mindsets, early game plans coming in from both of these players at this juncture.
I believe we're going to see a Tap 4 ban come out from Tian Ling. Nope, that's already there. My ban show is glitching. I think... oh wait, no, it's not glitching. Okay, they did send the message again. So I think that there's also the added depth of having to play the same pool again tomorrow for the winner, right? If you have really strong scores, maybe you obscure them today so you don't reveal that, hey, I'm actually really good at, you know, easy HDDT, so my opponent tomorrow doesn't ban it. So you know how players sometimes will intentionally sandbag in earlier rounds so that their scores get hidden? This is even more so here because you have to play the exact same pool, and maybe you don't want to reveal the full extent of what you can play. And we're gonna see Gimmick 2 banned out. And you know what that does leave open?
Oh.
Chisada Surutsu.
Yo, guys, what up? Yo, shit. Yeah, so, are we gonna see an easy DT, easy HDDT? Oh my goodness. easy HD DT pick from one of these players? So I guess we'll have to wait and see. You know, maybe both these players before the matchup, you know, just agreed, no, let's not do this. You know, they just like shadow banned it. But also, nonetheless, yep, go for it.
Also, just quickly noting, the only Hard Rock pool remaining in just even being able to pick is that tap 3 now. So since there's no free mods in this pool, most 1v1 tournaments don't even bother running free mods anymore these days, and it's just Satori de Pawn for these players to even consider taking Hard Rock on. So basically going to be a non-factor in this match, Hard Rock ability.
Yeah, that's right, and that is really the nature of having that many bans at your disposal, right? You can really just shut down one of your opponent's strong suit just before the match even begins. But you know, we are getting into the real grit of it. It's gonna be our first pick, and it's gonna go to Tian Ling. Tian Ling is rolling for his pick, and it rolls 1 into No Mod 1 or Aim 1. I believe this is as cookie cutter of a aim consistency map as it gets.
I would have to disagree with that one personally.
Is it not?
This is a 2-dip spike map, right? There's the beginning that's awkward. You have the 2 little doubles. You know the Zane jumps that tend to go like this? It's like these rotated, and it's doubles. They're cut. And then after that, it's nothing for 400 combo, and then a big dip spike at the end if you can hit 210 BPM snaps, and then the map's over. This map's so short. It's like 600 combo, and then it's done.
Yeah, then again, right, it's a very, very farm, you know, it's like a PP map. It's like Zane, you know, Zane mentioned, of course. But the aim, of course, is slightly more awkward than your typical No Mod 1. More awkward than I initially realized. Like, taking a quick look at the map again, a lot of the aim is very, very circular. On one hand, it does make it more comfortable. On the other hand, it's not what is natural for an aim map. And I think it's going to be very interesting seeing how these players deal with it. It might hinder their consistency just that a little bit, but I think when all is said and done, really, everybody in the lobby or both these players will be able to FC this kind of map, and it's just gonna be up to, you know, who has the mental tenacity to go through not even this very long map. It's only 2 minutes long, and that's what makes it even scarier, right? That's what makes consistency all the more important.
Yeah, I think that since the middle of this map is so easy, if a player does manage to find a break, it's going to be really, really detrimental because it does cap your score. This OD not too high, only OD 9. These players are definitely used to playing higher than that. But playing OD 9, if you drop accuracy halfway in the middle, you're going to cap your score at about 900k. If you miss, you'll cap your score at about 600k. And you don't want to miss going into that final Ki because it's probably the most difficult part of the map. I think the beginning and then the very end of the map are the hardest parts, and the middle is just joining the 2. So if you can't successfully join the 2, you're just going to have 2 chunks of combo, and that's not what you want to see early on.
Yeah, 100%. I think another element to sort of look at is when a map is this short, and when the map is this rhythmically simple, we might start to see the accuracy really play a part in these players' scores. This by no means is anywhere out of these players' comfort level. I think 5.9 is quite manageable for both of these players. But I'm a bit concerned with a player like Tian Ling, who is known for, you know, typically being the one with the higher combo and the lower accuracy. It might be a bit iffy for Tian Ling when both of the players are on equal footing when it comes to their combo, when it comes to their consistency. But we unfortunately will be seeing a timeout from ObsoluteDark. You know, perhaps the KFC employee is asking him why the fuck he's just chilling there. McDonald's Wi-Fi, insert haha funny joke here.
I think maybe they ran out of the 30 minutes of the free internet that come at the bottom of your receipt. You gotta go up there and ask for another code.
Yep, you gotta get another drink, get another Pepsi, you know. It is what it is. But yeah, I think I would like to reiterate what Floxen actually mentioned. I believe both of these players are sight reading, so and these players are just gung-ho, wallahi, we balling into this matchup. So we're gonna definitely see chaos, especially given how this map is a interesting map for a No Mod 1. And ObsoluteDark is man, if only I knew what was happening right now. Honestly, I think he's like logging into the Wi-Fi or some shit.
If I had to guess, I think that is what's going on, yes.
Yeah. Wait, is ObsoluteDark forfeiting a pick? Yo, chat! Yo, chat! We can't be doing this! We can't be doing this, chat.
Yeah, I think Tianling is, in the spirit of sportsmanship, is saying, you know what? No, I'm okay with waiting. As long as we can play out the rest of this match. Again, best of 9, so there's not too much flexibility you have with mispicking, and giving up a pick this early is, you know, not great, but I think that it's the good sportsmanship move to not take this point and just say, you know what, no, let's play it through anyways. But also, if Tianling did take the point there just now, he also could have obscured his scores.
That's true,
oh,
that
no,
is true.
He's saying play it solo? Oh no. Oh honey, it's like async lobbies, but both players are there.
Async lobbies, like, at the stipulated match time. That's crazy.
OSU players don't have tech issues challenge impossible.
Yeah. But I believe ObsoluteDark is going to be forfeiting this point. I mean, what's a 6WC event with just like, you know, a outrageous amount of scuffness, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
It wants me to do capture, but I don't see it. Chat, I think ObsoluteDark just might be a robot. I think it's cooked. I think it's cooked. 07s in chat. They're too good, bro. They're too good. 400 PP doesn't come from nowhere, bro.
Also, this is a 2-minute map, and we have already been waiting here for 4 minutes. You love to see
it. You know, like, a tiebreaker could have finished by now. A tiebreaker could be finished right now. Anyways, what's going on, chat? You know, what's going on? Let's do some crowd work. We have 21 people. We lost 9 viewers. We lost a whole 9 viewers while we were waiting for these guys. You love to see it.
You know, I think in the spirit of all things 6-digit, it's only appropriate that we start the match 20 minutes in, past the intended start time. We didn't even have warm-ups, but I think ObsoluteDark did pass the Autobot detection, so they are indeed human. I can confirm.
Yo, chat, do we have a match? Yo, chat, we have a match? Yo, pause. Yo, we have a match! Let's go! That's huge. And we are finally off to the races. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Gavin Criolla. Her name is Renyo, and we will be jumping straight in to the first match of the Apex Theater. It's gonna be Ling versus ObsoluteDark, kickstarting the Apex Theater on Aim 1.
Oh, Absolute finding a break on seemingly nothing. I think maybe misreading that pattern, just kind of whiffing out of nowhere. And this is unfortunate because they both hit the intro section, and now this is the aforementioned nothing section. The only real difficulty here is just, again, misreading the pattern. Accuracy from Absolute also looking a little lower. Maybe that KFC setup. Suboptimal. Tianling gonna trade the break, though. And now it is anyone's game. Tianling's still up about 3 points of accuracy, but Absolute is catching up.
That is right. We are sort of in the slow combo section. Just for some of these players to regain their composure, because right after this is gonna be the back and forth jumps, the very weird angles coming to greet these players. And as it stands right now, the scoreline is still very close. Tianling, despite having the score lead, is at a combo disadvantage. 12k, 15k right now. It's just gonna come up to accuracy as we move into the last third of the map. I think ObsoluteDark's setup is definitely hurting their consistency right now. The aim is so intensive, but ObsoluteDark continues to hold in spite of getting that bad accuracy. Meanwhile, Tianling is racing ahead, trying to keep that scoreline as much as possible on his side, but ObsoluteDark finds a miss, but so does Tianling. Last quarter of the map, and that scoreline is in Tianling's hands with 3% ag lead.
Yeah, you can definitely see the last quarter of this map is where the difficulty really ramps up. The map gets so big, Absolute's just going to continue to find misses, and it's so close. But I think Tianling's going to say, is this a spin to win? No, it's not a spin to win. But by a thinnest of razor margins, I believe this is going to go to Tianling by less than 10,000. Absolute breaking right before the score flipped over, I think, is what sealed the deal right there. And Tianling's going to get a very sketchy first point. Their accuracy definitely helping them out there. Absolute, I think, just dropped a couple too many 100s trying to settle into the beginning of this map. And sight reading those overlapping sliders, I believe, is what cost them there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? We have a game. I mean,
Also,
hopefully
we're going straight down the pool. We're seeing aim 2 right now. This is, I think aim 1 and aim 2 are basically the same map, but aim 2 is basically twice the length of aim 1, so there's a bit more of the consistency, and there's just more cut doubles, more swing. It's kind of snappy. Even though it's 240, the original aim 1 is cut time, so you're effectively playing 210 BPM. This is about 30 BPM faster, but I swear this map, it plays so similarly to that aim 1, so if all goes according to plan, we're going to see another similarly good matchup. Oh, uh-oh. And I am now showing up twice. Hello.
Yo, don't worry, the GG the score, you'll have to see it. Just moving my camera a bit, hopefully that works. Alright. And yeah, we are moving. Thank you, Renyu, for that quick introduction. You know, a map pretty similar to the one that we saw before. But you know, if anything's worth, that last map didn't really tell us much. It just showed that both of these players are probably on equal footing. ObsoluteDark and KFC is matching up the Tian Ling's struggle in the accuracy department. But you know, we are going to go into a slightly lower SR map. You know, of course, with the map just being less mechanically challenging overall. You know, it in theory should be more easy to be consistent on a map like this, but you know, of course, you also need to take into account the hidden and whatnot. But for what it's worth, I think this is one of those maps where hidden, it's really testing your hidden comfort. And for hidden preference players, it's just gonna be testing your overall consistency. This is just a breeze if you know, are familiar with hidden. But of course, that hidden is gonna play a slight factor when it comes to determining your overall consistency on a map, especially given how, you know, it is 4 minutes long and that consistency is very, very important.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any reading requirements. The only thing that's a little weird is that the overlaps right there, like the 2 on top of the 3, instead of being 2 notes quickly, you have to pause a bit. But I don't think it's fast enough that it'll cause anyone to break if they miss tap. Tianling gonna find an early break in this intro section. Gonna find another break as we head into this first verse. Not what you want to see. The intro is pretty easy. Tianling gonna find the third break now, gonna give about 10k to Obsolute. And I think maybe Tianling is just taking a second to get settled into this map. Not too big of a concern. There's quite a bit of combo to play with here. But Tianling maybe not super comfortable on this hidden. That's what it looks like right now.
Yeah, that's right. We jump straight into the KI. And I mean, ObsoluteDark is just on another level when it comes to their comfort on a map like this. It seems that they are in perfect shape to go the extra mile on this map. 300 combo, and Tianling really struggling with in the combo and accuracy department. I think this is one of those maps, you know, it's that speedy aim alongside the hidden, not just testing your overall aim mechanics, but it's testing your aim agility. And it's, you know, that is that sort of element of the map that is really tripping Tianling up now. Not known for their, you know, overall comfort on hidden or alternate, and I think this is a very good pick from ObsoluteDark, just which plays directly into his opponent's weaknesses.
Tianling with a bit of a misread right there as well. Not going to do him any favors. I don't think it matters at this point. I hate to call it so early on a map that's over like 1400 combo, I believe, but Obsolute, despite only having 92% accuracy, if they were to finish it out, this would be an A rank FC. It doesn't matter because Tianling is struggling even more. Just can't seem to hold down about 300 combo, which is what you need to get going on this map.
Yep, that's right. We're getting into the second half of the second KI. ObsoluteDark still as dominant as ever, 800 combo and counting. And meanwhile, Tianling has not managed to secure any sort of meaningful combo on the board, and I don't think they will for a while. ObsoluteDark does find a miss, but I don't think it matters whatsoever. Last third of the map, and I mean that scoreline has already generated to a massive 274k, and on a map that's 4 minutes long, that is a huge difference.
Also, it's what, 3 times the score, so that's also a metric you could go off of at this point. The AC gap has closed quite a bit though. Obsolute did chain, I didn't think chained a miss, but definitely chained a couple 100s into a break at the end of that section. Not like it matters. The second half, this last quarter of the map is basically the same thing that we've seen for the rest of it. So if history is anything to go off of, Obsolute will probably just breeze through the rest of this map and secure a pretty easy first point here.
Yeah, that's right. ObsoluteDark move. This is exactly how you want a first pick to go, you know. decisive, clear, confident. That's what ObsoluteDark is on aim to, and fantastic pick from them. To say the very least, plays right into his own skill, his own strengths, and Tian Ling's weaknesses. And I mean,
there are those cut doubles. Absolutely.
Yeah.
240 BPM, you have to snap. It's like a Z pattern. Disgusting. I love it. Give me more.
It's like that aim agility, right? It's the ability to not just change those sharp angles, but to change your cursor speed. Overall, it's a crazy pattern. Yeah.
And I think on hidden especially, there's the added aspect of being able to time it and then snap back correctly. And yeah, finishing out this map in absolutely dominant fashion is going to be ObsoluteDark. Going to be evening up the score in this match, 1-1, both players winning their first pick.
Yeah, 100%, and that is going to be a point in ObsoluteDark's hands. Now the point the pick shifts back to Tian Ling, and we're just gonna see if he goes for another role. Honestly. And I think this win for ObsoluteDark definitely opens up a lot of avenues to a lot of the control pool, and as well as the hidden pool as well. So it's clear to see that this pick has opened up a lot of Tian Ling's weaknesses. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how ObsoluteDark continues to play into this matchup, continues to play into Tian Ling's weaknesses, and it just goes back to the duality, or the binary tension between both of these players. ObsoluteDark being an overall more well-rounded player, meanwhile Tian Ling being more specialized. ObsoluteDark has a lot more avenues to attack Tian Ling throughout this match. But I mean, we're gonna see if Tian Ling manages to pull out a good pick for himself. If I had to guess, maybe a tapping map might be warranted, but given how he banned out the tapping, perhaps a tech pick. We could definitely see that happening.
3. So that's the Saturated Pond that you were talking about, an iconic map in the Osu scene. I think I've seen like 4 or 5 different sets of this, and I believe every map in this pool is a ranked set. So this is probably a map that quite a few of you guys are familiar with. AR 9.2, 235 BPM. So we're going from 240 to 235 BPM, a pretty small BPM shift, but the style of map is very different.
Yep, and fun fact, guys, I believe it is this set. I believe it is this set. This was actually a custom for Project Hexagon's first ever tournament. It was our No Mod 3 for EQX Cup, or fucking hell, Equinox Cup, pardon me. And this map is a speed map. In Equinox Cup, No Mod 3s were speed picks. Weird slot pooling stuff that, for some trivia later down the line, but this is actually a custom by Charity, or back then was known as CU, also the winner of our pooling contest. So huge shout outs to CU. This is a very good speed check. I mean, it's Satori Pod, it's 235 BPM speed. It's as good of a speed check that you can get at this sort of SR. But of course, the main interesting thing to look at is the hard rock slapped on top of this. The OD is going to be increased. That CS is going to make it slightly harder for you to, go for that aim. It makes unlucky shit misses on aim that much more common. And you need to constantly be on your toes on this map.
I think ObsoluteDark is having a no map moment, asking for a mirror download link.
Oh my days.
So again,
the KFC Wi-Fi, bro.
Yeah, sight reading this on Hard Rock, again, quite a bit of a statement to be doing into Tian Ling. We'll see how it turns out for them. Also, I stand corrected, this map is not ranked, it is graveyarded, but still an absolute banger.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have to see how ObsoluteDark deals with his KFC setup. Tapping's one of those skill sets where it's very technique focused, especially on speed. So we might see some funky business on ObsoluteDark. They might not be in their prime condition when it comes to playing a map such as this one.
Alright.
But we're still looking for a beat connect.
Yeah, I think the map has already reset. Again, this is quite a short map as well. Only about 2 minutes of drain time. Tian Ling going for 2 pretty short maps in a row. With that being said, I think the majority of this map is under 3 minutes. Which, hey, you know what? With the breaks in between maps, I don't mind. Because otherwise, this match may be here until I have grandchildren. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just sort of waiting for ObsoluteDark to slowly get the map. The KFC Wi-Fi is unlucky, but there should be a map pack. Honestly, I think both players should be able to access it. So you know, maybe they can get that started while the map is going on. Yo, chat. Do we have a map?
An error 404. That's not good. Let me see if I can download the file and send it to them.
Oh. Yo, chat, I think it's time for the commentators to step in, bro. We gotta get the Osu beat maps mirror. This is the
Osu beat map mirror. It seems like it's giving an error 404 on the beat connect. I did send them the actual OSZ file though, so I don't know if it's working.
The beat connect can't work because it's not a ranked map. I believe.
Yeah.
There's
Okay,
yep. But chat, we're gonna lose another 9 viewers. We can't keep stalling this shit. Oh my days.
30 minutes in and 2 maps, but you know what? That might be a new personal record.
We're just foreshadowing grand finals. Double FF, you know, grand finals bracket reset is 3 weeks late. You'll have to see it.
Can't enter your Osu account on the site. If the ref for the match is here, Alan, if you're here, could you let him know that I have the file?
According to Tian, Ling, they might not be able to access Discord from their PC or from their computer. But that shouldn't be a problem.
Alright, it's okay. We can improvise.
Why is bro at KFC? I think he was at an event prior to this match.
Sounds about right.
Yep, sounds about right.
Let me share.
Yeah, but hopefully we should be on the way soon. Oh.
They find it?
Oh no, it looks like it was just a win by default for ObsoluteDark because he wasn't able to ready up in time. So, you know, it is how it is. I think we can just move on. I think we don't want to be waiting. I don't think we want to be kept waiting for so long, so
it's fair enough. I think the Tian Ling here also does get to obscure their score. We're not going to know anything about either of these players on Hard Rock, since all 3 Hard Rocks have strategically been removed from the pool.
Yeah, I think if there's anything that the slow match, the slow pick speed has given us, is that there's a lot of stops in momentum. There's a lot of stops in momentum, and it might prove to be a bit of a struggle for some of these players. You know, usually you want to have your maps one after another so you can constantly be on your toes, constantly be in peak condition to perform. But we're not really seeing a lot of that. There's a lot of delays in between the picks, which definitely halts your momentum, especially for ObsoluteDark being the player with the momentum, having that very, very strong, I believe, aim 2 score as his last pick. Definitely wants to use that momentum, but can't because, you know, the map isn't happening.
Is going to pick into their protect as well now that tap 1 is coming out. One of, again, the longer maps in the pool. I believe one of the longest besides aim 3, which is already removed from the pool. So this is, again, all just flow aim tapping consistency. 174 BPM. It's super comfortable DNB. If you can play this, the only issue you're gonna have is shit missing and then note blocking an entire stream. Otherwise, I don't think there's too much to miss on this map.
Yeah, this is a. I mean, this is really a one of the most basic no mod 2s that you can get, right? 174 BPM, not too high, not too low for most of these players. It's just gonna be that flow aim that's gonna be coming to greet these players. Not to mention, of course, the consistency required. 4 minutes long, definitely gonna be a stamina and consistency test when it comes down to it. This map tests a. This map is the stream map, the no mod 2 of all time. Tests all the sort of skill sets that you would want in a stream map. But hopefully we won't have any more delays. Good luck, have fun are coming out in chat, and hopefully we'll be able to see Metric. We got it very, very soon.
And very importantly, the most important part of any sort of no mod 2, there are random aim patterns in the middle for you to break on if you're a stream player.
Yummy.
Solution has been found. Hopefully, okay, we should be going into this tap 1 now. This is your really standard. Some of these maps in this pool are weird. This one would be standardly pooled. So I think all of us here are familiar with this map. Was it MREC like 1200 or something?
I don't follow PP meta, Renyo. I'm so sorry.
I don't either.
We're all tournament players. PP is a social construct to us.
That's true. It's more like it's the plague. You avoid it.
But anyways, we're gonna jump into this tap 1. Just very slow start. Just getting the players to warm up into the map. Nothing much to say.
I think that if the accuracy is anything to watch out for, though, Obsolute, again, playing on a suboptimal setup, in, a tapping map, you're going to be hurt more by the lack thereof accuracy. Since, yeah, this is like the only real aim. And now that the map has actually started, I think the accuracies are going to start to settle down more, and that's whenever we can actually look at them. Since if someone's not comfortable at this BPM, it should show up pretty clearly.
Yep. That's right. I mean, as of right now, everybody holding on to their combos. The streams in this section aren't the most intensive. But yeah, as you mentioned, right, ObsoluteDark's accuracy really taking a pretty harsh hit. A lot of 100s on these streams. And meanwhile, Ling cruising with that 97% act. Still FC at this juncture. There is still a lot of map left in the tank, so it is still too early to say. But ObsoluteDark definitely has an uphill battle to fight going into the second third of the map.
Yeah, being down by almost 8 points already in this map means that there's about 60k gap and growing, despite being up slightly in combo Tian dropping a couple slider ends. Slow sections, however, are known for dropping accuracy, and as we head into the second real stream section, I do think that the aim on the streams does get a bit more challenging. In the first half, we saw a lot of decelerating streams. Tian misreading the aim, and that gives ObsoluteDark an absolutely massive opportunity. That break is real. Tian finding another break here, and Obsolute, all of a sudden, this protect pick isn't looking that sketchy anymore. The score going to swing over, and it's going to just continue to stay over on the side of blue unless he finds a break.
Yep, that's right, but the pressure is still on ObsoluteDark with a 5% ag lead, and he finds a miss. That scoreline is only 26k big, but then Ling perhaps finding some keyboard issues. What is happening on his side? Right now, the accuracy...
Over-aim into a chain miss.
Oh my goodness.
So easy to over-aim.
Oh no! Tian Ling with the shakes. It's unreal. The accuracy lead that he was holding throughout the first 2/3 of the map is just completely gone, and that score lead has instantly shifted in favor of ObsoluteDark. 74k, and I mean ObsoluteDark is looking to push that scoreline as much as possible.
Being up in AC and combo now as the map is slowing down, definitely going to help. I believe the streams in this last section aren't super difficult, just your standard 32 and 16 notes streams. However, you now have the added nerves of trying to actually finish this map out. Any sort of miss from either player, I think, will be lethal just because of the amount of combo that's ramped up here. Tian finally settling back in here, but that score gap is just sitting stubbornly at 80k, and Obsolute refusing to drop.
The flow aim is so intensive at this ending section. I mean, we are already seeing these circles not overlap with each other at all. Last ace of the map. It's the last chance for Tian to make this comeback. But ObsoluteDark finally finds the miss. The window of opportunity is open. But I don't think there's gonna be enough time. Tian can try as hard as he can. But it's 60k. And the last sliders are coming in. Tian will not be enough. And ObsoluteDark walks away with that protect point.
And it seems like the earlier favor where Tianling won by about 10k, that favor has been returned. Both players winning one of their picks by a really, really sketchy margin. You know, Tianling did stop playing one of the streams in the middle of the map to kind of spin their cursor. I can't help but wonder, did that make a difference? Because 60k at the end of the map is maybe only 20-30 combo. And that was 20 or 30 combo that they just straight up gave up on playing.
And I think in addition to the combo, right, the accuracy that Tianling lost as well is so huge. At that juncture, that was about what, a 10% ad lead that he had from the beginning of the map that he just completely lost. When he just fell through.
Chain missed what, 40 notes in a row, and we're gonna see I believe back-to-back protect pick. Tianling going to pick into that tech 3. I believe that was the protect. Yes, it was the protect. So
yep, that's right. Renyo, I think you have a lot to say about this map. I mean, this is you know, slider points, slider ticks on my tech map. You love to see it. Thank you, everyone.
Slider ticks on my DT tech map. Oh boy. I don't think it's too challenging. I think the main issue with this map is that it is AR 10.1, which means that it may not be accessible to all players in this skill range. It is the only map that's higher than AR 10 in this map pool, but 10.1, I think players of this caliber should be able to handle pretty well. The only issue, I think, is just combining it with the techie elements. The density, it does help reduce it, so maybe reading, I think, is actually a little easier. I'm a big proponent of raising AR whenever density gets too high, especially on these DT maps, because no one wants to see 50 nodes on the screen at once with 250 BPM. Like, just raise the AR. It'll make it a bit nicer. Tianling still stuck on tap 1. Hopefully a client refresh. Yes, and here we go. Another short map. Tianling sticking to the 2-minute maps. Hey, it hasn't broken. Don't fix it.
Yeah, that's right. I think this is one of the few successful attempts of 6-digit DT tech. So I'm very interested I'm very excited to see this map getting played, not to mention a certified banger cheat codes already, the original very good song, but this VIP is equally as stunning. ObsoluteDark gonna open up this pick with the first misses, and you know, that's not quite what you want. It's clear to see that, you know, ObsoluteDark not too confident when it comes to the AR. In fact, Tianling is completely demolishing this map on the AR 10.1. And I mean, as the map continues to go on, Tianling's score lead is just going to grow and grow, especially on a map this short.
Just look at that accuracy differential. Again, 12 points. Absolute probably taking a little bit just to settle in to that AR 10.1. Finding another break here, and Tianling just absolutely running away with it. DT multiplier is brutal, 1.2x. If you let your opponent get away with it early, you just have absolutely no shot of catching up.
Yep, that's right. The action is still happening. The square shape jumps, Tianling just completely demolishing all of them, albeit with incredible accuracy as well, 95%. ObsoluteDark can't even begin to hold a T. This is Tianling's playground. I mean, this is exactly what he's known for, right? That high AR, high mechanics intensity map, high density maps is just absolutely up Tianling's alley, and it is completely and utterly exemplified in this map right here. Last quarter of the map, and Tianling is completely unshaken. The only question is, how far can he take it?
I think that really, it's not a contest of who's gonna win this anymore. It's just that, is Tianling gonna close this out? And if he is, what's the score he's gonna get, right? Because if you're Tianling now, you don't know how well your opponent's doing. There's no breaks in this map, but do you really want to give up your full potential on this map and maybe reveal to future opponents, hey, I can FC this map? So, cry about it, because I'm going to protect it anyways.
Yeah, definitely a show of dominance from Tianling. And, you know, at the same time, you know, despite the fact that your opponents will know not to pick this against you. If you protect it, that's just more aura going into every other time that you play this map. Going into his next match, he just has that sort of confidence, has that sort of, proven method going into this tap 3 pick tech 3 pick moving forward in his next match. But that's it. Amazing score from Tian, very, very strong FC. This by no means is an easy map, so this is incredible. The confidence really is back in Tianling's side, and that's exactly what a player like Tianling needs to shine.
And I think that this is also a really important point for Tianling, right? Bringing yourself up 3 points. That first point that he won wasn't by all that much, only 10,000. The second point, it was like a point given by default. So I think being able to see that, yes, I can win over my opponent by a sizable margin, that's really important for the mental as well.
Yep, that's right. But we are going to go into Gimmick 3. Renyo, it is time. Easy HDDT.
It's time for AR Flashbang. We're going straight from 10.1 to half of that. We are going to AR5, baby.
This is my Easy World Cup commentary training. I need to understand what's happening on screen. I can't lie. This reading challenge.
The description for this map says insanely big circles and low AR intuition reading. What is intuition
reading? You have to like feel the screen.
Read the map.
You have to feel the circles on the screen and then like echolocate them. That's intuition reading right there.
Roll an insight check for me, actually. And then how they feel. Either way, we are going to go into this. I have a sneaking feeling that this may be a go next pick for a couple of these. Hey, you know what? Maybe I will be surprised.
Maybe Tianling's actually the reading god. Actually the reading god.
That's true. I think that putting HD on top of this is just adding salt to the wound, though. I think you either do HD easy or you do easy DT. I don't think you do HD easy DT. That's of my own personal opinion, though.
Yep. This is one of those maps where, you look at it once and you see why it's never pulled in tournament. Like, what is even happening? Like, how do you commentate this? The score difference is like 800 or 900 or barely 1k. Like nothing. the score difference is not convincing at all. And both players clearly not the most comfortable. But when it does come down to it does look like ObsoluteDark just has that slight edge when it comes to comfortability on Gimmick 3. So, that's it. It looks like this is, as you mentioned, right, another GG Go next pick for ObsoluteDark. Really, I mean, it's not right up the alley, but if you're choosing between Coughing Baby and, Baby, you definitely want to go for Baby instead of the coughing one.
And ObsoluteDark, with 190, almost 200 combo, I think they have kind of found a rhythm. And you know what? A score margin of 250 or 25,000 is... It usually doesn't sound like a lot, but when your opponent has 9,000 you take what you can get. I feel like this is a map where most players would give up and simply play the spinners.
Yep, that's right. I mean, the epic map. I just have to thank Lunexia that this isn't 6 minutes long, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think Tianling's having a good time. My intuition is saying that Tianling's not having a good time.
You say, intuition reading, yada yada yada, but I mean, I don't even know where the KI of this map is. Like, it kind of just looks like circles to me.
I think that the streamy section earlier was the KI, because strangely, that was the only part of the map that I could read. I think that easy is something that you like look at and you're like, yeah, oh yeah, this is easy. Why aren't they doing it? Just follow the notes, 5 head, and then you actually sit down and you try to play the map yourself, and you're like, oh, so this is why players take hidden on easy. You're not getting constantly bombarded by circle, 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 and then approach, and just since the circles are so massive, your entire screen's just going to be taken up by absolute clutter.
Osu's a counting game. But this is why we don't pull Easy HD in tournament. This is why Easy shouldn't be a tournament gimmick. But anyways, pulling hot takes aside, that is going to be another point into ObsoluteDark. Taking the match 3-3, dead even, going into the mid game, slightly towards the end game. The pressure is on.
Ling with a bit of with I think probably the most important pick of this match. Even though it won't determine the winner, it will definitely set the pace for the end game. They will determine who will be up at match point. Tianling, if they win their next pick here, easily puts themselves up at match point, have the security of having tiebreaker, and at the very least can guarantee that they can close out this match on at least equal footing. And conversely, if they give up a break point here, that gives ObsoluteDark an absolutely huge opportunity to close out the match on their own terms, on their pick. So this is really important conjunction here. And I think we're going to be seeing Act 1. So this is going to be the first map where we see a non-score v2 win con, and I can see that my co-caster is very happy. This is an absolute banger. I love this map.
I love MUK. MUK, one of my favorite artists. I can't fucking remember their genre right now. I think it's Future Core. But I mean, I'm a big MUK fan. Ariaga Thesis is, of course, a phenomenal song as well. A very, very funky map. This map is, you know, your typical alt-techy map at 140 BPM. But it does have a few interesting sections, especially the 1/3 that come to trip you up later on in the map. And I think that's where the accuracy is gonna play a big part in you know, determining who comes out, and fitting for the accuracy win condition that this map has. I am a bit interested as to why Tianling went for this pick. Tianling not typically known for, you know, being that act player, as well as not typically known for being an alt player as well.
I think that Tianling has noticed the KFC advantage, and they're trying to take advantage of the fact that, you know, ObsoluteDark probably doesn't go to KFC to play Osu every single day. So they're not used to playing on this setup, and when the win condition is not combo, it's accuracy. Obviously, chain misses is still bad, but all you have to do is just be more accurate than your opponent. It's just like Osu. All you have to do is score more than your opponent. It's not that hard. Just win.
Yeah, that's right. But it is gonna be interesting to see whether, you know, Tianling famous for his low act is gonna be able to beat this, you know, unfortunate circumstance that ObsoluteDark has found himself. Unfortunate circumstance being KFC incident. But we'll have to see how it goes.
A bit of like a difference. We're seeing higher, lower, higher again, right? So we just went from 10.1 all the way down to 5, and now we're going straight back up to 9.3. This map is no mod, so they're not going to quite be going back to like AR10, but going from, you know, standard CS like 3.6 all the way to CS0 and then right back up to CS5, it's definitely at least a little jarring. We do see Good Luck have funds though, and we should be heading into this Act 1 very, very soon, and there it is.
Yep, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MUK Ariga Thesis. This is probably going to be the most important pick in the end game. It's, as you mentioned, right, Renyo, it sets the pace for all of the maps to come in the end game. Will Tianling be able to walk all the way to match point against the strongest LCQ winner? Or does ObsoluteDark have something else to say about it? We'll have to wait and see.
ObsoluteDark finding a couple early misses here. And I think just really early on, already kind of a act disparity. These cut doubles are catching both players off guard. I think both of them are sight reading. But it doesn't matter since you don't really need to hold combo. The importance is just not dropping too many 100s or misses here.
Yeah, that's right, but as of right now, Tianling is still holding that 10% ag against ObsoluteDark, and accuracy is king. Combo does not matter whatsoever in this map, so I mean, that's it. Tianling is now technically comfortably in the lead as we move into the second third of the map. And I mean, Tianling is not looking to slow down whatsoever, still holding that combo, still being consistent as ever into the second half. It looks like that accuracy gambit, the KFC gambit, is coming into play, and it's working out swellingly for Tianling right now.
ObsoluteDark has improved accuracy quite a bit though. Earlier they were in the 70s. Finding a miss though, not going to help. Misses do hurt your act a lot more than 100s, and finding a bit of a chain of 100s as well. Tianling going to finally drop that FC as well, or an almost FC. I think they missed like 10 combo in. And oh boy, 1/3.
1/3, yummy 1/3. But I think the ag lead that Tianling has cemented at the beginning is more than enough to guarantee this point. And I mean, that's a phenomenal pick. Honestly, phenomenal pick from Tianling, playing into ObsoluteDark's situation and condition very, very well. And, you know, going into match point, they will be the favorite to take the match. But, you know, if you know ObsoluteDark as a player, I don't think he's going down without a fight. So we'll have to wait and see what Dark has to offer moving forward.
And I think that Ling is a player that is definitely a very strong and formidable opponent, but there are things that you can do if you are playing against Ling. They're not just an insurmountable brick wall. And yep, that is going to be Ling up at match point, though. Very, very good pick from them, winning by about a margin of almost 10 points.
Yep, that's right. But right now, the is on ObsoluteDark. Ling now has a knife to his throat. And I mean, if I were Ling, I would be looking to end this right here, right now. ObsoluteDark is not a player you want to mess with whatsoever. But, of course, that is easier said than done. This match has just been back and forth and back and forth. And I think ObsoluteDark wants to do just that. Wants to keep history consistent and take this match 4-4. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a potential tiebreaker on our hands, and I am so in for it.
Yeah, this match has just been constantly swinging back and forth between the two players, with one player getting ahead and then kind of swinging back, and then the pendulum shifts and the other player takes over, wins their point handily. And it seems like both of these players have settled into the rhythm of this match, and we're going to be seeing a tap 2 here. And I think this is a really smart pick. Forcing Ling to play hidden is, I think, what I would do in this situation as well. And I think that's also all 3 hidden maps being picked. Yeah, we saw Q earlier. We saw... No, we haven't seen extra mode. But if I had to wager if ObsoluteDark had another pick, if I had to guess, I think Tech 2 would have come out. Just because Ling doesn't seem to be super comfortable on that HD.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting pick to say the very least, right? I mean, we didn't quite see how Ling did on tap 3, obviously, but you know, when tap 1 came down to it, it was a bit dicey. If Ling hadn't had that mishap where he just completely chain missed 40 plus notes, that could have very well swung in Ling's favor on tap 1. This tap 2, of course, is a bit different. It's a lot more techy, a lot more finger control-y in nature. But, you know, the finger control, the tapping, the raw mechanical aspect is still very pronounced in a map like this. And especially coming out from a map like Act 1, which was sort of that hybrid between tapping and tech. It is a bit interesting why that ObsoluteDark will be opting to go for Mosey Metropolex. I mean, it is relatively similar in BPM. 15 BPM apart is not that huge, especially when you're talking about the alt BPM. So I'm interested to see how ObsoluteDark performs on this one.
I think this one is also very control-oriented. Again, it's kind of like a mix of the Act 1, which we just saw, and also kind of the HD one, where it's, or not HD one, the AIM 2, where you have the controlled sliders and the fast drops, because you can hear it, I'm sure. There's sliders that kind of snake out, and it's so easy to not focus and then drop a bunch of slider ends into a miss.
Yeah, and I'm not even mentioning, right, Ling's overall weakness on hidden, which I think is what ObsoluteDark is trying to go for in this pick right here. Really trying to milk as much of that, you know, accuracy struggle, as much of that hidden struggle that he can from Ling, because he's really struggling at this juncture. ObsoluteDark gonna open up the map with the first few misses, not gonna matter too much, although this map is very short, but there is a lot of room for error on this map, especially considering the XL D-cell patterns, the snap patterns that Hidden will be giving to these players. So there is going to be a struggle, and we'll be seeing how this match goes.
Yeah, the spacing is also absolutely atrocious at times. It'll be like 2 notes, space, 2 notes, space, 1 note, or 2 notes, space, 1 note, 2 notes. And you really, this is a map that I feel like you don't want to sight read, and Ling gonna find the break on the kick sliders. ObsoluteDark holding, I think, into this break. Both players gonna be able to see their scores. Ling gonna find another break before these slower sliders, and that score is going to start rapidly shifting over to the side of ObsoluteDark. ObsoluteDark does have their work cut out for them, though, down about 8 points of accuracy. They're going to need to hold on for quite a bit longer.
Oh, here we go.
The patterns, and ObsoluteDark finds a drop on the triples. Ling back in control now.
Oh my goodness, it was looking so good for ObsoluteDark until that unlucky 1/3 miss. Last third of the map. Time is running out for ObsoluteDark, but Tian finds the miss. Last third of the map, last quarter of the map. Will ObsoluteDark be able to make this difference? Is the scoreline is decreasing, but is it decreasing fast enough? We'll have to wait and see. ObsoluteDark is hanging on for dear life. The scoreboard opens. They know what needs to be done. 50k scoreline separates these two players on the last pick of this match. Last streams, ObsoluteDark aces all of them. The flow comes in, Tian falls short. Last ace of the map, last few sliders, 5k, 4k, 3k. Will the score flicker? It does. And ObsoluteDark will be taking the point. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Apex Theater. We have a tiebreaker.
And in the 11th hour, 11th and a half hour, ObsoluteDark manages to swing that score over. I think Tian finding the break on the 1/3, or ObsoluteDark finding a break on the 1/3 seemed to almost do them in, but Tian finding a bit of a collapse, I think just on the quick sliders at the end, is what allowed Absolute to sneak away with that win. Again, the tiniest, razor thinnest of margins. And we are now going to be getting a tiebreaker. This is, again, the longest map in the pool, over 5 minutes. We haven't seen anything really this long. The longest map we've seen is that tap 1 at about 4 minutes. So consistency definitely going to come into play here. However, this does sound pretty mechanic-y and is almost, seems kind of techy too. So I think if I had to guess, I think Tian may be down, but they are not out here.
I mean, both players definitely not gonna go down without a fight. This map, this Quantum Entanglement, holds a pretty special place. If you played in 6APC, this is one of the custom maps. This song was one of the custom maps from one of our tiebreakers in 6APC by Nomi Nomu. Of course, this is a different set by Sing, a phenomenal mapper. This is a very, very famous song, Quantum Entanglement, and it is as good as, you know, your mixed skill set 6-digit tiebreakers go. Not too high in BPM, a good duration. The techie elements give a lot of room for a lot of skill set representation in terms of tapping, finger control, flow aim control, and of course your raw mechanical skill in aim and tapping. This map really has all of it, and I mean, it's a Camellia tiebreaker. What is there to expect?
Yeah, and as we see Good Luck Have Fun's coming into the chat, both players going to load in. We don't see any preference mods, not too surprising. I don't think Tian was going to be taking hidden any day of the week. But Absolute also opting for that no mod. Makes sense. You're going to be playing this map for 5.5 minutes. You want to do it as comfortably as possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Hatsune Miku comes to greet us at the very beginning of Quantum Entanglement, this is what you came to see. At the end of these 5 minutes and 34 seconds, only one can come out on top. It's either going to be Tian or ObsoluteDark moving on to face their tier 2 opponents. Who will emerge victorious? Well, that's what we're here to see. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Apex Theater. My name is Gami Crayola, her name is Renyo, and let's jump straight into the action.
Yeah, both players hitting that intro pretty easily. As we head into this first tech drop, both players actually with pretty even accuracy. ObsoluteDark, again, down at about 2%, but compared to the rest of this match, that's definitely not that much. Both players hitting all the sliders pretty comfortably. ObsoluteDark going to find a couple of hundreds on that stream right there. Ooh, and both players hitting the 1/3 as well. ObsoluteDark going to find a drop as we are about halfway into this first tech drop. As Hatsune Miku comes back in, the sliders, again, don't have ticks, but it's so important that you at least hit the slider head. ObsoluteDark going to find another drop, tending up about 600 combo now.
That's right, we're moving into the comma section of the KI, but by no means free at all. But meanwhile, Tian is in absolute masterful form right now. 700 combo and counting with an incredible accuracy to boot. 50k score lead is definitely nothing to scoff at. And unless he finds that miss soon, I mean, ObsoluteDark has just no point of comeback as of right now.
Yeah, I think that Absolute Dark, unfortunately, is a bit at the mercy of Tian Ling, but Tian Ling does find a drop right there on the Quince. Absolute Dark going to trade it back really quickly, though, and that immediately puts Tian Ling back in the driver's seat. Up in accuracy and in combo, that is exactly what you want to see on a tiebreaker if you are a Tian Ling supporter. 60,000 difference between the two teams doesn't seem like much, but on a tiebreaker where there's so much combo, it's pretty big, and Tian Ling and Absolute going to trade again. Seems like the nerves are starting to set in. You can see a bit of a cursor shake on both of the players.
Oh my goodness, it is so close. I mean, this song definitely doesn't give due justice to just how intense these players must be, how intense this match is, how much nerves must be going through these players' veins as of right now.
And I believe my co-caster is a lot of the combo.
Okay. All right, we're back. The match is just too intense. What can I say? ObsoluteDark does find that miss, you know, but Tian Ling finding a bunch of misses as well during that KI gave ObsoluteDark some time to make that comeback. But we are moving into the second half of the map. Time is running out.
Yeah, and after Tian Ling looked really comfortable on that opening section, I think the nerves of just holding so much combo did start to kick in. Both players found kind of a sloppier second quarter of the map, but it's okay. The map is a bit more forgiving here as we head into the next tech drop. No more nice free combo though, and again, I would be closing my eyes right now if I were these players. I do not want to see the difference between me and my opponent. I would close my eyes and go straight back to playing my funny little Osu map when I hear the indicator coming up, because these jumps look easy. They're mechanically the simplest part of the map, but it's the easy things that are nerve-wracking because you know you can do it, and then, oh, look, I missed on a 2-star jump. So,
and I mean, this section is so intense, right? The jumps are so simple. This is where we can see those kind of shit misses come out to haunt these players. But the streams are coming in. Tian Ling falls short. ObsoluteDark hits all of the slider streams, and for the first time now has a substantial combo lead against Tian Ling. This match has been back and forth, and it is no different in this final KI. ObsoluteDark does find a miss, but it is still going to be close. There is still a chance for them to come back. Accuracies are dead even. It all comes to combo.
ObsoluteDark actually now up a tiny margin in accuracy, and being up in accuracy and combo now as Tian Ling just finds a couple more slip-ups. ObsoluteDark is breaking as well, but they just managed to hold maybe 20-30 combo more every time, and that's what matters here on these tiebreakers. That score margin, 70,000 earlier, has now shrunk to 23k, and as we close out this map, it seems like Tian Ling's 174 BPM stream woes have come back to haunt them, but it doesn't matter. We're going back into tech, and I think that tech is the one area where they do solidly seem more comfortable, but they find another break. ObsoluteDark up 200 combo again. They find another break, and Obsolute is going to trade as well. I think just not able to hold on long enough whenever they are given the opportunity, and that earlier 700 combo from Tian Ling coming in clutch as this map closes out. 20,000 difference between the two of them. ObsoluteDark is down, but not out. However, I just don't think there's enough map left now.
As the last segments of the map comes in, the spinner comes, and the last few notes happen. The players have reached the end, and Tian Ling with a score lead of a measly 20k will be moving forward in the Apex Theater. I mean, this man came in absolutely swinging, you know, with the ego pick of a lifetime, picking the #1 LCQ qualifier, ObsoluteDark, and he won. He came back despite being the last picked tier 3 player, picking the most difficult opponent of the LCQ players, and he won. What a match to behold, and congratulations to Tian Ling for a performance of a lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations. They will be advancing forward to face their tier 2 player. I believe we don't know what the matchups are going to be quite yet until the last 2 matches are done playing, and those will be happening at 15 and 16 UTC. So keep an eye on that. As well, we're going to be having our next round draft, where the tier 2s are going to be picking their opponents, happening at 1650 or whenever the last match at 16 plays. So again, thank you, Gammy, for co-commentating with me. Thank you to Frauen for streaming, and thank you, Ellen, for reffing that match. Big congratulations to Tian Ling as well. It takes some nerve to go out and pick the big favorite from the LCQ and to come out victorious. So we're looking forward to seeing how everyone else plays this round. And thank you as well, the viewers, for coming out to the stream as well. The 6WC wouldn't be possible without you guys' support. And speaking of support, if you haven't and you do have the means and you're willing to do so, please check out our donations as well. If you haven't been blessed with seeing Philoxin hitting the Huzz, oh boy, your life will... Honestly, your life is better without it. But if you would like to make our lives marginally worse, but make the production of this tournament so much better, please check out the donations if you're willing to. And it wouldn't be possible without you guys' support.
Yep, thank you so much, Renyu. I could not have said it better than you did. I mean, huge shout outs to everybody who's been supporting 6WC all the way. And I mean, for the first match of the Apex Theater, let's just hope that the rest of the matches are this close. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into this Project Hexagon 6WC stream. My name has been Gammy Crayola. Her name has been Renyu. Huge shout outs to Frauen for being the lovely streamer for this match, as well as Ellen for being the ref. And I mean, come back at 15 UTC if you want to check out the matches that we have lined up. I'm sure it'll be as exciting as this one. So with that, without further ado, this has been Project Hexagon. This has been the 6WC admin team, and we'll see you in the next stream. Goodbye!